Okay, we are back. Sorry, I had some. Sorry, I have to split this into two parts. Had some computer trouble, but excuse me. Anyway, back to the ranking of every Archie Sonic pre-reboot story. This is taking way longer than I thought it would, and is really exhausting. Okay, Mogul Rising, the four-part Mammoth Mogul story. Eh, in case you couldn't tell, this era of Archie Sonic is amazing. So this Mammoth Mogul arc works so well because it does the same thing Darkest Storm did. It makes Mammoth Mogul feel like the threat he was always supposed to be. Because here's the thing. Did he technically feel threatening before? I mean, sort of, but because of how lame his stories were, he never... It was hard to take him seriously. Two out of his three stories before Ian Flynn took over are him interrupting Dimitri's spotlight as the main source of conflict in a story. Yeah, and the third time is, well, it's a story with Titan Tails. I don't think I need to tell you why that did not work. But seeing Mammoth Mogul no longer be a massive demigod of ultimate power, but instead working from the shadows to manipulate Sonic's friends, and him working from the shadows doesn't come out of nowhere. He did that before, so it is somewhat in character. He's able to push Sonic to a breaking point, not by defeating him in a battle, but instead by using his friends against him, mind controlling his friends. Though he apparently had marked his bunch of Sonic's friends years ago, and hey, and that's why they have all their powers. And honestly, it kind of makes sense. I mean, there's nothing to say that Mighty's strength didn't come from Mammoth Mogul. There's nothing to say that Mina Mongoose' speed didn't come from Mammoth Mogul. And yeah, Tails certainly does have a connection with him because of the whole fake Tails nonsense. So yeah, him being able to manipulate them totally works. Ash Mongoose is somewhat likable in this story. That's a plus. Mina Mongoose makes her return. That's nice. I like Mina. Um, the stuff in this casino arc with Sonic and Sally and Amy and the random rogues gallery of second-rate criminals. It's just great stuff. Bean and Bark make the return. Knack the Weasel does. The Destructic, Sleuth Dog. I mean, we get a scene of Sleuth Doggy Dog, should I say, insulting Drago Wolf. I mean, what more could you want, am I right? I love this comic. Mammoth Mogul is just portrayed really well. He's no longer directly manipulating the events. Instead, he's working from the shadows, hiring people to attack Sonic for him. And as he says to Sonic, I know because of cosmic events, I've lost you so many times that maybe I just can't beat you. Maybe there's some kind of destined thing that makes it so that I can never defeat you. But I'm immortal. You're not. So I'll just send bounty hunters and assassins endlessly to kill you. And even if they don't succeed, well, your children are going to have to face me. And so will their children, which is pretty messed up, but in character. The Scourge Saga. Oh, this might be my favorite storyline in Archie Sonic. It's hard to pick though. So I've already talked about Scourge in detail in the previous video, so I don't really feel the need to recap why he works as well as he does. But yeah, Scourge is just amazing, and seeing alternate reality versions of the other freedom fighters is really interesting. We get the subplot with Knuckles dealing with his father's death and everything that's forced on him. His relationship with Julie Sue gets into a bit of a hassle before being resolved quickly, but in a way that does still work for their characters. We get just some really funny moments, and we just get Super Scourge, which is as awesome as it is terrifying. We get the amazing epilogue issue where Sonic takes Scourge to prison, and Sally gets put on trial, and I love this story arc. It's able to contrast the heroes and villains in such an interesting way that I don't think any other story has been able to do as good a job at, with the whole evil doubles thing. The Shadow Saga. Yeah, um, It's Archie Shadow, and he gets his own saga to slowly flesh out his character. Not to mention the introduction of Omega. We get some more stuff with Gamma of all characters, which is done amazingly. Shadow gets this whole interesting character arc about what it means to be the ultimate life form, the formation of Team Dark, the stuff about Shadow being a living weapon, same thing with Metal Sonic and Gamma and Omega. Something Ian Flynn carries on not just from the Sonic comics, but also the Mega Man comics he wrote, where robots call each other brothers and they consider themselves to be so. It's really great stuff. Hey, the scene where Shadow and Hope talk will never not make me cry, okay? I'm sure I'm not the only person who can agree that scene has made them cry at least once. Blaze is in the story, which is, it's cool. I like Blaze. Marine's pretty funny, too. Sorry I sound kind of disinterested in this, it's just, I'm really tired. This is going on for way longer than I thought it would. After I did a tier list of ranking every Archie Sonic character, I never should have done this, never should have attempted something like that again. The Eggman Wars stuff, which is what I like to call the the issue 200 storyline. Sonic and Eggman's final battle's really cool, okay? Let me see if I can pause that. No, you cannot pause this website after its recent update. You could before. What the heck is going on with it? Anyways, Sonic and Eggman's final battle is really cool. I like it. Sonic and Sally have some really great character moments together. There's some cool artwork. Although I will never not be mad that Jim Amash didn't ink issue 200. He inked so many issues before then, but not 200. Why? Okay, 30 years later. It's really good. So, this story basically thrives off of character interactions, so we get some great ones, but overall, I really enjoy it and does some good stuff for Silver's character, but just, it's never been one of my favorites. Iron Dominion. Yeah, so, I don't understand why this arc gets as much love as it does. Yeah, I agree, it's cool to see all these characters return. It's done cleverly. It leads to a cool climax. There's some good character moments, but I hate Monkey Con so much. It's not just for the Sally Sonic Monkey Con love triangle. Yes, I do hate that, and Sonic and Sally should have just gotten together already. It's just wasting time. But it's also just because Monkey Con isn't a likable character at all. So much of his page time was just dedicated to him screaming at people and saying how much of a loser he is and how angry he is at everyone else. He's basically just Jeffrey from the Ken Penders era, but no one ever talks about how he's so similar. Yeah, he is better because he and Sally are actually the same age, so it's not as creepy, but that doesn't mean his story isn't any less obnoxious. I hate Monkey Con so much. And I don't find the Iron Queen to be particularly interesting at all. I mean, I like seeing Snively get stuff to do, that's great. I like the Iron King, but it's still a really good saga. I just don't find some of the details to be all that good at all. Echoes of the Past. Okay, yeah, now we're talking. The highlight of the Iron Dominion saga is the Sonic Universe spinoff. Okay, so I love the Knuckles stuff, convoluted as it is, because when Carl Bollers and Ian Flynn made it comprehensible, they made some really good stuff out of it. And that's what this story is. It ties together Knuckles' character arc, stuff with Dr. Finitibus, a kid in the lore, down to the Freedom Fighters. Even Harry the Dingo is in this story, and he gets an actual conclusion to his character arc. That's brilliant. And I just love Dr. Finitibus as a villain. So seeing him and Knuckles interact is always a good thing. It's too bad that cliffhanger never goes anywhere, unless you read Archie Sonic Online. Okay, the Tails Adventure. Yeah, I really like it. I don't love this story as much as some of the other universe arcs, but also I just realized that Journey to the East is not included here. I guess it's dumped in with the Iron Dominion saga too. Journey to the East is really good. Has some great character moments like with Fiona and the Destructics. We gotta see Sally punch Fiona in the stomach. Amazing scene, but I agree with Sonic and Monkey Con. That was kind of hot. Hey. But as it stands, Journey to the East is a really good story with just some stuff I don't really care for. The Tails adventure is also really good, but same thing. I love Tails, Antoine, and Bunny's dynamic. I really like the Battle Bird Armada. I just don't find this to be as interesting as some of the other stories. But it's still really good. The Silver Saga. Oh yeah. The Silver Saga. Again, like I said, it's either this or Enerjack Reborn. That was the first Archie story I read. It just had me captivated despite not knowing anything about it. Even when I started reading the comic all the way through for the first time, it was still a long time before I put all the pieces together. I did a video on this a while back, which you should totally check out. The Silver Saga is just amazing. It ties up previously established lore that nobody remembered in a genius way. It does some great stuff for Silver's character, has some cool artwork. It's everything you could want out of Archie, Sonic, and then some. Okay, this story with Sonic and Bunny's uncle. It's well, I'll be a Bunny's uncle. I really like it. I like getting to see just Sonic and Bunny interact. I like stories where it's just Sonic and one of the Freedom Fighters. A story that's just Sonic and Bunny, Sonic and Antoine. Those kinds of stories are just fun to me because we get to explore the characters a little more, you know? And I mean, Bunny's uncle is a fairly interesting character. And his conflict with Bunny about how he's working, Bogard Rabbit is now working for Eggman. And he has to deal with the fact that his niece is one of the Freedom Fighters. And also, there's this brief mention of him saying how he's super mad that she married Antoine because apparently he hates Antoine's family line, which is something. And Sonic and Bunny get caught in the middle of it, trying to keep things simple. It's a really good story, even if not one of my favorites. The Jeffrey Ixis-Naga storyline is one that just amazes me. When I first read this, I was thinking, what the heck? Why is this so good? I'm always going to say the beginning of it is a little weak because I think the townspeople turning on Nicole, even though I understand they were manipulated by Nagus, is just stupid. Even if it makes I think it makes sense, but it was a bit overblown. But even still, it's just okay. One, it brings back Ixis Nagus in a way that actually is really interesting because his original story back in the '90s was just awful. At least his inclusion anyway. His story, he was used well in Darkest Storm, but he wasn't the star of that or anything. Then he just became a mindless zombie. But then he becomes one of the most important characters in the entire comic. And I just love Jeffrey's character arc. His story teaches an interesting lesson, which is that sometimes redemption arcs don't work. Even if you try to redeem yourself, even if you feel so bad for what you've done, your actions have consequences, and you need to face those consequences. People say it's out of character for Jeffrey to be a villain, but I don't think so at all because, I mean, back in the Endgame era, he was constantly causing trouble between the Freedom Fighters. He was really mean to everyone and caused a lot of arguments. And then during the Carl Bowler's era, even after we got rid of this weird, creepy obsession with Sally, he still wasn't a good person. He was mean to Sonic as usual, even if not all the time. He was but he was intentionally giving Elias bad advice when he became king, just to get things that he wanted. Yeah, I think being a huge jerk to the main heroes and causing arguments between them, being a creepy adult man after a girl way too young for you, and the whole manipulating the monarchy to get what you want, that doesn't sound like a very good person. I don't know about you, though. And then sure, there's the scene where he says to Hershey, yeah, I've been an idiot, I've done a ton of bad things, I should just give up trying to be a hero, but I don't know, because the Jeffrey St. John, the Ixis Nagas stuff doesn't actually retcon anything. Retconning would be changing lore. This story doesn't actually change anything, it just adds to it. And it adds way more dimensions to his character. It's not like once it's revealed he's working for Ixis Nagas, he becomes a mustache-twirling villain. He does struggle with it a bit. when he gets convicted in court and said adjudged guilty, well, he's mad. He kind of looks like he's thinking, maybe I do deserve to go to jail. And then Ixis Nagas frees him, but when he eventually sees what Nagas is planning to mind control the whole city, he says, "No, I'm not going to deal with this anymore. You are insane. I never liked the acorns, but you are just way too much." But then Nagas yells back at him, "What, you think you can just tell the freedom fighters, tell the Council of Acorn? No one trusts you. You've betrayed everyone who cared about you. My way is the only way left to you. You're either going to work with me or you are going to be doomed." And Jeffrey just lays on the floor as the camera cuts to his facial expressions. We see him just looking terrified at what's about to happen. I wouldn't exactly call this guy a horrible villain, now would you? I mean, he even goes out of his way to tell Silver what Nagas is planning. And I said this before, that's maybe my favorite scene in Sonic history. Jeffrey is just basically pouring his heart out to Silver, saying that, "You've got a future to save, kid. I don't. I know what I'm doing is wrong, but I have no way out of it. Here's Nagas' plan. Go stop him." And then when Nagas is actually fighting the secret freedom fighters, and he's trapped under a rock, and he's telling Jeffrey, "Apprentice, help me!" Jeffrey just looks at him, scowls, and walks away. Sure, he comes with an excuse when Nagas questions him, but eventually he does tell Nagas, "You're sick, you're twisted, and you're wrong, and I'm no better. Makes me a poor person to judge, huh?" He says, "I don't know what it was like back when you in your creepy Order of Wizards. Maybe being a lying, backstabbing jerk was necessary, but not anymore. New Metropolis is full of good people who can trust even someone as bad as me. All you need to do is give them a chance." And he says, "I know you're sick. Have for a long time." He knows Nagas is literally dying. And he tells him, "Maybe for once in your life you can cut out your stupid pride and actually ask for help." And for a single panel, Nagas actually does consider this, even after he yells at Jeffrey for telling him this. But of course he decides, no, I'm just going to possess Jeffrey instead. And then the comic gets rebooted, so this story never goes anywhere. Unless you read Archie Sonic Online, and I do love how it ends, but I also don't... Spoilers for Archie Sonic Online. I don't like Jeffrey just being allowed to stay. I think it would have been better if after he was saved from Nagas, he just exiled himself and said, "I've committed far too many crimes to ever be worthy of being trusted ever again. Come on, Hershey, we're going." Still though, love that story. Treasure Team Tango. Maybe the most fun story in the entire series. It's just a ton of characters fighting each other with amazing artwork and great interactions. Shadow even gets a nice little character arc. He's saying, "Well, sorry guys, but I know Blaze's world will die without the Soul Emeralds, but I need the Soul Emerald. God protects the world, and they need the Soul Emerald to protect the world." And Amy tells him, "Well, wouldn't you want to protect all worlds, not just one?" And he thinks, "Well, yeah, I guess she's right." As he says to Rouge, the safety of a world outweighs the mission. This story kind of embodies Archie Sonic in a way. It's a million characters tossed into a crazy situation with cool artwork. What else is there to say? Does this even count as a story arc? I'm not even gonna include it because I don't think it counts. Scourge Lockdown. Oh yeah, I'll hail the king, bait. I love Scourge Lockdown. Well, once again, I made a video about Scourge recently, and most of the video was about this arc, so I don't have anything else new to add, just watch the video. I know it's kind of a cop-out, but yeah. The story arc basically boils down to, you watch a guy who once thought he made himself king of his own world, torn down to pieces, and then he rises back up. Except he's a villain, so that's, exactly what you don't want to happen. We also get a really interesting exploration of his character as well as other characters. Good story. Great story. Genesis. Ian Flynn has said he never planned for this story. It only exists because Sega told him, "Hey, make a 20th anniversary special for the Sonic games." He said if he could do this comic over, he'd take out this story, but all the fans agree that would be stupid, because the Mecha Sally arc wouldn't be as effective if not for this arc. Genesis is great. I mean, the character interactions, the artwork, the final scene of See You Sonic on the other side, Sally. I mean, that scene has always remained in my mind. Again, before I got into Archie Sonic, even the Sonic fandom as a whole, I read a couple Archie graphic novels thanks to libraries. This was actually one I read, the Genesis graphic novel. And despite not really understanding the context of anything, just something about that last page of Sonic and Sally reaching out to each other as the page fades to white, that just always really stuck with me. Down to the, word for word, I remembered it too. And see you, Sonic, as Sonic replies, on the other side, Sally. And he smiles and the comic just fades. The story is just really special, I guess. It kind of hits in a way that other Archie stories don't, but I really like that it does what it does. And again, because we get to see Sonic and Sally spend so much time together, Mecha Sally doesn't feel as insulting as it otherwise would have. Also, I guess this is also including Secret Freedom Fighters and Babylon Rising and Scramble from Sonic Universe. Yeah, I think it's a really good. The Mecha Sally arc is really good. Yes, the universe stories are a lot better than the main series, but the main series still offers some really great stuff. I mean, yeah, Scrambled, that universe arc, an amazing conclusion to Snively's character. After almost 20 in real world years, Eggman finally has beaten Snively at his own game. But Snively doesn't just get beaten up and then goes back to the status quo. No. He's beaten down, bruised, locked in a cell where no one knows that this is a thing except for Eggman. As he says, "Game over, Snively." Then we have one panel of Eggman just silently looking at him, probably reflecting on all the times he's had with Snively, as he walks away and says, "Thanks for playing." I just love it. It's so messed up, but it's so in character for Archie Eggman. Secret Freedom Fighters, love the dynamic of the Secret Freedom Fighters. I mean, I guess this is also including Shard's universe issue. I love that issue so much. Maybe my favorite Archie story is Sonic Universe issue 50. I've already covered it before in a different video. Go watch that. The Mecha Sally arc is bizarre. Seeing Mecha Sally always kind of irks me, but we have Archie Sonic Online, thankfully, that Archie Sonic Online has made Archie's reboot less of an issue for me, but it still annoys me that, it's not made by a professional team, it's made by a couple people. Archie Sonic Online gets what? 2 issues out a year? If a real world comic company gets 1 issue a month. Chaotix Quest. The finale of this tier list. It's really good. Yeah, it reeks of the Pender's lawsuit happened. We needed to make some changes, such as the Dark Egg Legion is now called Eggman's Army. Robbo the Hedge and his wife are swapped out for 2 new characters who say that and the guy who swapped out for Robbo the Hedge says, "I am carrying on my king's speech in his memory. I don't know where he went, but I'm sure he'll return at some point." But even still, it's good. We finally catch up with Mighty and Ray after them having been gone for a while, and I love Mighty and Ray in this comic, this series. They're not the main focus of this arc, but what we do get of them is just really great. When Mighty once again tries to rescue his sister and says, "I know you don't remember me, but I am your brother. Please just come back with me." And she says, "Well, I guess I am your sister, but I have no memory of you. I don't care about you." And then Ray just completely snaps at her saying, "He is your brother. Who cares if you don't remember him? That doesn't change the fact that he's your brother. He spent all this time looking for you. He loves you. And you say that you've been alone your whole life, and now someone's offering you a home. How could you possibly not want that?" And that restores Mighty's sister's memories. Of course, the ending is kind of bittersweet as well, but still, I love it. Okay, so that's my tier list of every single Archie Sonic pre-reboot story arc. What a monster of a tier list this is. So yeah, Archie Sonic has some pretty big ups and downs. I mean, but then again, I only called one story straight up terrible. A majority of them made it into the way past cool tier, so that should tell you something. Okay, so hope you all enjoyed. That's all for now, and remember to stay way past cool.